Alrighty, so now that we have kind of the project set up, we understand kind of some things that we might run into, such as some collision issues, that kind of stuff. We're going to go ahead and begin setting it up to where this character here is going to turn into our first person character, our first person, shooter for a basic FPS. So we're going to go ahead and start building this out, getting everything that we need to set up, all that kind of stuff. So again, this is the third person example project for the 5.8 engine build. However, the process is going to be very similar for 5.5, 5.6, 5.7, and this version, which is 5.8. So the one thing that I do want to do first is I actually want to go to project settings and just change the default map, which I changed to the third person map, to be the one that I'm currently on. So level underscore third person, just so whenever I restart the editor, I don't have to keep going back and, loading this one up. It's just going to load by default. Okay, so to begin, we're going to want to follow our written documentation. So down here on the Fab page, we have documentation written, and that's what we want to look at. And specifically, we want to look on the part that is going to be setting up our character. So we can click that, and it'll kind of give you an overview as to what we need to do. So we can ignore the component section for now. Well, actually, let's just go ahead and do it from the top. That'll be easier. So to begin, we want to add the SKG shooter pawn component. So that's simple. It's the same way you would add any other component to anything else. So here we're going to go to our third person folder, blueprints, or wherever your path is, depending on your engine version, and load up that third person character. From there, we want to add the SKG shooter pawn component. And from here, we have, I'm looking for the drop down, there it is. Under initialize, this is really the only one that we actually care about currently. We want to make sure the third person, or because we're only having a single mesh, first person mesh component name is set to one that matches this component, so the character's mesh, which you can see in parentheses because this mesh has been added in C++. It has, well, this text here in parentheses. That's giving you the actual component name. And if you look here, these are added in Blueprint, and they don't have the parentheses with the text. So that's just one way you can distinguish, and you can actually see right here. But we want the name specifically inside of the parenthesis. So here, which I actually have it set to by default, character mesh 0. Now it doesn't matter. We can just set it to both of them. It doesn't matter. We're going to check, because this is by default, use single mesh. Because again, we're not having a first person, third person split setup. We just have a single mesh. So consider this true first person, essentially. So that's good to go. Next up is going to be the camera component name. So this has been made optional, but we're not going to cover that just yet. But we want to make sure this matches the name of our camera component, which in our case is called follow camera. So we want to rename this one to follow camera. And likewise, I don't want this camera to be back here. I want it to be on the player's head. So let's go ahead and get that set up. So we can remove the camera boom altogether and click the follow camera, drag it onto the mesh, and now it is attached to the mesh. So if I move the mesh, you can see the camera moves with it. But I want the camera to be attached to the head, and we have, all these bones and stuff that come with the mannequin, but I want it to be on a very specific one. And you might have actually noticed we have this camera attached socket down here called S_camera. Now, what I want to do is I want to get this camera positioned about where I want my view to be. So in my case, I'm going to put it right in front of the character's mesh of the face. And the other thing I would want to do, because I have my animations made for the mannequin, not the Quinn, I want to change the skeletal mesh that it's using to be the mannequin. So under skeletal mesh asset, we're just going to search for Manny, and we're going to let's use the provided one. So you can see this one at the top there. The path is SKGSF core mannequin meshes. We're not going to use that one. That one is already set up for you. We're going to want to set this up from scratch. So we're going to use the one provided by the third person example, which is in characters, mannequins, meshes. So we'll select that, compile, save, forgot how shiny the default mannequin is. And then we want to go ahead and open it up. So once we're in here, we want to add a socket that is going to basically be our representation of the camera, or our position of the camera. So we want to find our head bone. So let's scroll down in the list and we see head. So here I'm going to right click, add a new socket, and I'm going to call it S_camera. I just like to prefix my sockets with S. You can do it however you want. So save that, go back to our blueprint, select the camera, and here we have the parent socket. So this can be our S_camera socket that we just made. You can see it's offset. That's just because it has a location and rotation already applied. We're just going to zero those out. And there we go. So now all we have to do is just adjust the socket to rotate and match where we want it to be. So we head back to our skeleton, our thing that we have open. And the first thing we want to do is let's just get the rotation correct. So we can see that it's pointing upwards. So we want to rotate it to where it is pointing forwards. So we're going to rotate it down by 90 degrees. I rotated that on the wrong axis. So I'm not used to the new gizmos. There we go. So now it's pointing X forwards and Z is to the side. We want it to be Z up because that's up in the engine. So it's pointing the right direction, but it needs to be flipped upwards. So it needs to be rotated like that. So let's take it. You can see it's pointing Z, which is up to the left. We want Z to be pointing up, as in vertical. So let's rotate it 90 degrees like that. And now we have it as X forward, which is red, and Z up, which is blue. And now it is facing the correct direction. So what we can do is position that. I need to turn off snapping, which is right here. Position that kind of in front of the eyes where we would want it. So I'm going to put it just barely in front of the mesh, like so, and I'll leave it right in the center. So I can save that, and there we go. So now, when I press play, you can see this is our result. So I'm not moving my mouse, I'm not pressing anything, and you can see it's quite, I guess you could say, nauseating. It has a lot of movement that we don't want, and it's because it's following the movement of this idol, including the rotation. So one thing we can do to turn that off is under the camera, use pawn control rotation. And that's going to allow us to use our controller's rotation for the camera. So now when I hit play, you can see it is a lot more steady. It's not rotating or anything like that with the animation. And likewise, I can look up and down, left and right, which I was not able to do before. So if I turn that back off, which is the default in Unreal, I'm moving my mouse around and it's not moving at all. But if I turn left and right by my WASD keys, you can see it always follows it. So we're going to turn that back on. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and in our character here, let's search for control. And you can see one of the things that this actually turns off in the character class with this third person example project is use controller rotation yaw. So currently, if I press play and I turn left and right, the character doesn't move. But if I reset this back to the default and make it enabled so it is using the yaw of the controller, and I look down, you can see it turns as I move left and right. So now we can go through, we can walk right, left, forward, backwards, turn, jump, all that kind of stuff. We're kind of getting the basics of a first person player here. So that is kind of the gist of getting ourselves set up to where we have our character in first person. So we have the camera set up, all that kind of stuff, and we're getting closer to where we are, for the most part, almost good to go. So one of the things we want to go ahead and do is start working on the remainder. So we need to add some stuff to the skeleton. So we're going to just complete the skeleton setup. And we've already done the camera. I'll cover the blend mask in a separate video because that's going to be specific as to the animation side. So let's go ahead and get the skeleton set up, and I'll try to explain what the reason is for it. So once again, we want to go actually back to the mesh there, like so, and we want to start adding some virtual bones. So I'll add them and then we'll explain basically after they've been added as to the purpose. So for starters, we want to add this virtual bone IK handgun parent. So we want to right click on the head bone, and the target bone is going to be IK handgun, or sorry, the target bone is going to be the head, and we just want to rename it to IK handgun parent. So right click on the head, add a virtual bone. The target bone is going to also be the head, and we want to name this one IK handgun parent. The next one is going to be the same thing, but with IK handgun ADS. So we right click on the parent virtual bone we just made. Target bone is also going to be the head, and the name is going to be IK handgun ADS. So add virtual bone. It's also going to be the head and called IK handgun ADS. The last one is going to be just virtual bone IK handgun. So this one is going to be on the parent again, but the target's going to be IK handgun. And I'll explain the purpose of that bone in the next video as well when we get into the animation side. So on the parent, virtual bone, we want to select IK handgun and name this one BB IK handgun. So we want to save that. And then very lastly, like these are the important ones, we do want a separate one for firearm collision. Now this one can kind of go in a couple different places, but by default, we're just going to add it to spine 01. If I remember to, I can talk about some of the pros and cons as to different placements, but we're just going to set it and follow along with the documentation. So we name this one firearm collision, and we're just going to go ahead and set it on spine 01. So where am I at? That is a lot of additional bones, more than I remember. So spine 01, add virtual bone, and we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to do spine 01 and just call it firearm collision. Actually, scratch that. I think we need to do it to the head. Put in the head as well. Doesn't matter. But so I'm just going to leave it there. I can't exactly remember. It's been quite a while since I've done a manual setup, but whenever we get to firearm collision, if we have problems, I'll know why, and that'll be another teaching point. But anyhow, save all, and we now have our character fully set up. So we have all the virtual bones that we need, we have the camera set up how we want, and we have a basic first-person view going on. So the purpose of these virtual bones is to allow us to animate on the upper body without touching the lower body. And I mean doing that procedurally. So in Unreal, you can separate the upper and the lower body. So for example, splitting here at the pelvis area. But what I've found is inside of doing that in the anim graph, it doesn't always split perfectly. So there always seems to be these oddities where the upper body gets influenced by the lower body's animations when you try, or sorry, let me rephrase that. Even though if you split these lower body animations or bones, such as IK handgun, that'll be a better view. So anything from spine 01 is considered upper body, everything else lower body, including IK handgun. Even if I split this to where this gets affected only by the upper body, the lower body still animations like locomotion still seem to influence it, and I have never been able to figure out why. But what we do when we add these virtual bones is it allows us to position those virtual bones at IK handgun and then modify those virtual bones using the procedural logic, such as the sway, the recoil, that kind of stuff. And then at the end of the animation, we can then apply the position of those virtual bones back to IK handgun. And that's going to move everything around where we actually want it to be. So again, I'll explain all that when we actually dive into it. But for now, that is all we have to do. We are keeping it nice and simple, and I will see you in the next video.